They are Chinese Dama. Look, when they travel together, they shoot a dance video on the train. At the China International Import Expo cafeteria, Chinese Dama swarm over to grab food. I'm not sure when it started, but there has developed a bad habit of grabbing food. The Dama quickly take out plastic bags, always ready to snatch up food. In recent years, we often see various uncivilized behaviors of Chinese Dama online. For example, they like to dance in public squares while playing loud music, ignoring the surrounding environment. They also enjoy grabbing food in buffet restaurants, and sometimes they even climb trees to take photos, raising concerns that they might break the branches. Is this really a reflection of poor quality among Chinese people? And who should be held responsible for these uncivilized behaviors? Today, let's discuss the topic of Chinese Dama. At some point, square dancing became very popular in China, with most dancers being elderly Dama. However, the loud music disturbs nearby residents, leading to frequent conflicts between the residents and the dancers. Yet, it seems the authorities have no intention of solving this problem, forcing the public to find their own solutions. At the entrance of a residential community in Chengdu, there is a group of Dama. Every day, they dance in the square downstairs, using multiple speakers to play music, which is very loud. The residents have significant concerns about this. Children coming home from school need to do their homework, and the noise disrupts their studies. However, despite the residents' repeated complaints to various relevant management departments, the problem has not been resolved. Many times, the residents upstairs have shouted down at the ones below, asking them to lower their volume. However, it seems that Dama did not hear. Some residents have also expressed their dissatisfaction by throwing water bottles and fruit peels. In January of this year, an incident occurred at the entrance of a local community. A young man was seen throwing something into the sky to drive away Dama. Witnesses reported that he was throwing ghost money. Ghost money is a type of ceremonial offering in Chinese folk traditions, prepared for the deceased to use in the afterlife. At the same time, slogans have been posted in several prominent locations within the community, stating, "Neighborly love, please avoid making noise and disturbing others." A community staff member stated that the community had already discussed the issue multiple times with the organizers of the square dancing, asking them to change the venue and reduce the volume. Later, Dama changed their location to a more open area and reduced the volume, as well as adjusted the dance times. This is a rather rare good result. This group of Dama was dancing to the loud music of the square dance, but the residents of the community couldn't take it anymore. They had protested several times, saying the speakers were too loud, but the women didn't pay attention. One day, just as they were about to start dancing, a bottle of ink suddenly fell from the sky. The Dama were furious and started yelling downstairs, saying that the people upstairs had no manners and lacked public decency. Don't they even know the basic principles of respecting the elderly and caring for the young? We didn't see who threw the ink bottle. Our faces and bodies were covered in ink. The ground was covered in ink, and there was ink in our eyes and mouths. We even spat out a lot of ink. The Dama immediately contacted property management and reported the incident to the police. After investigating, the police discovered an art studio on the 18th floor with identical ink. The police found the person in charge of the studio. The person in charge said that since it was the weekend, no students were there for class, and he wasn't present at the time either. Since there were no surveillance cameras upstairs, the police couldn't find any direct evidence, and in the end, they had to let it go. The matter was thus concluded. In fact, Dama's desire to exercise and have fun is understandable, but they shouldn't build their happiness on the suffering of others. A brawl once occurred in Jiaozhua, Henan. It was a Sunday evening, and the usual dance area of the Dama had been taken over by another group of women. With no other option, they had to look for a different spot. Eventually, they set their sights on the nearby basketball court. There were a few young men playing basketball on the court, but the Dama directly placed their speakers in the middle of the basketball court and played music loudly. The young men said to the women, "Aunties, we're still playing basketball. Dancing here might get you hit." However, the leading woman responded, "We're going to dance here. You should go play somewhere else and not be a hindrance." The young men continued playing, hoping the women would back off. To their surprise, the women snatched their basketballs and threw them out. One of the young men said, "On what grounds do you throw our basketballs? This is a basketball court, a place for playing basketball, not for square dancing." The women responded, "We're dancing here and you should go somewhere else. Nowadays, young people don't know how to respect their elders at all." The young men were even more enraged upon hearing this. An argument broke out and both sides started fighting. Some of the women even lay on the ground, suggesting that they were hurt. Finally, passers-by called the police, who intervened and separated both sides. After understanding the situation, the police instructed the women to go dance elsewhere. Many people believe that the quality of the Chinese Dama is very low, but in reality, the Chinese Communist Party systematically destroyed China's 5,000 years of traditional culture and civil etiquette. The Dama grew up during the era of the Cultural Revolution. The devastation of traditional Chinese culture during the Cultural Revolution was terrifying. Last year, during the May Day holiday, there was a very popular video. At a scenic area, tourists were standing in line to enter. At this moment, two women cut in line in front of a man. When the man saw this, he tugged on one of the women's bags to remind them not to cut in line. Unexpectedly, this action angered the two women and they began to wildly berate the man. "Why are you pulling? On what basis do you pull me? Do you think I'm scared of you just because you're a man? You're just bullying the weak. What I hate most is people like you who pick on the weak and fear the strong. You've picked the wrong person to mess with today, let me tell you." The woman pushed the man while warning, "I'm going to cut in line, we're not to be trifled with." Surrounding tourists were advising, "Just let it go, just let it go." The man, possibly scared, only lightly defended himself by saying, "They're cutting in line." Tourists were trying to comfort him, telling him not to bother with those two women. The netizen who filmed the video said, "I was a tourist standing in line behind the young man. In the video, the two women cut in line from the left rear and went in front of the young man. When the young man tugged on the line cutter's bag, she exploded and began to wildly berate him. They did not continue to argue after entering the scenic area. The video was uploaded to expose uncivilized behavior and to apologize for not supporting the young man at the time. Many netizens expressed their confusion and left comments. How can they be so assertive while cutting in line? With such a strong attitude, where's the weakness? Who is bullying her? It seems like she's the one bullying others. Unruly behavior from Dama is commonly seen everywhere. Last spring, cherry blossoms bloomed across various parts of mainland China. When Nanjing Forestry University opened its campus to the public, many Dama seized the opportunity to enter the campus. They were busy foraging for wild vegetables by the river. A student described, "Many students at the school plant various plants by the river and in the wild for learning materials, graduation projects, and other purposes. What these women are taking might not be wild vegetables, but could actually be the students' graduation projects." A student said, "We are all students in agriculture and forestry, and many of our courses require us to grow plants for experiments or papers. We also label or number the plants to indicate they are part of our research. However, these Dama might not know or care about this and just treat our plants as wild vegetables. In fact, to protect the campus environment and research facilities, the university sets up warning signs or barriers during the cherry blossom viewing period, asking visitors to follow the school's rules. However, this does not deter the enthusiasm of Dama for foraging wild vegetables. They may not realize that their actions could potentially destroy months or even years of hard work for researchers. In the cherry blossom season, what else is popular? Some Dama, in order to take photos with the cherry blossom trees, have bent the branches, held onto the tree limbs, or even climbed the trees. Sometimes several people even climb the tree together and pose in various positions for photos. Some even stand on the tree branches, dancing to the music while filming videos. The branches keep swaying, and it seems that if the women exert any more force, the branches might break. The Dama really put in a lot of effort to share their beautiful photos. One netizen said, "The poor cherry blossom trees are not only covered in cherry blossoms, but also covered in Dama. I really feel sorry for the cherry blossom trees." The Dama of this generation were Red Guards and young Red Guards during the Cultural Revolution. What they learned in school was the Communist Party's philosophy of struggle, where the solution to any problem was to fight. Given this, it's not surprising that their habitual behavior, such as grabbing food or climbing cherry blossom trees, fits this pattern. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. Thank you for your support. See you next time.